The grand hall of the Kennedy Center was awash with elegance that evening. Beneath the glittering chandeliers, some of the most powerful figures in politics, art, and media mingled in anticipation of the night's performances. Among the notable guests was former First Lady Melania Trump, her presence radiating a quiet dignity that seemed to command the attention of the room. Beside her stood her son, Barron Trump, now a young man whose towering height and composed demeanor made him impossible to ignore. As the evening unfolded, the hum of conversation and the clinking of champagne glasses filled the air. Melania, dressed in a sleek black gown that epitomized her signature understated elegance, was approached by a journalist known for her incisive and often provocative questions. Armed with a microphone and a cameraman in tow, the journalist closed in, ready to seize the moment. "Mrs. Trump," the journalist began, her tone sharp and deliberate. "Some critics have said that your post-White House initiatives lack substance and are more about image than impact. How do you respond to such accusations?" The question hung in the air, and a hush fell over the nearby crowd. All eyes turned to Melania, whose expression remained poised but distant. She began to answer, her voice calm and measured, but the journalist pressed further, her follow-up questions cutting and insistent. It was clear she wasn't seeking a dialogue. She wanted a headline. The tension in the room was palpable. Guests shifted uncomfortably, unsure of whether to intervene or remain silent spectators. Some whispered among themselves, while others stood still, their eyes fixed on the unfolding exchange. Melania, ever the picture of composure, maintained her calm demeanor, but the journalist's persistence was relentless. Just as the atmosphere seemed to grow unbearably tense, an unexpected figure stepped forward. Barron Trump, just shy of 18 but already exuding a quiet confidence, gently placed a hand on his mother's shoulder as if to say, "I've got this." He turned to face the journalist, his expression calm yet resolute. "Excuse me," he said, his deep voice carrying across the room with surprising authority. "I believe my mother's work speaks for itself. If you followed her initiatives, you'd know they focus on helping children, something she's deeply passionate about. It's easy to criticize from the outside, but real change takes time and dedication." The journalist, momentarily caught off guard, tried to interject, but Barron continued, his tone unwavering. "What's disappointing isn't the criticism itself. That's part of public life. What's disappointing is the lack of respect. This event is about celebrating art and culture, not tearing people down. If you have genuine questions, perhaps there's a better time and place for them." The room was silent. No one had expected Barron to speak, let alone with such composure and eloquence. His words carried a weight that belied his age, and for a moment, even the journalist seemed unsure of how to respond. She muttered a thank you and stepped back, her attempt at a headline having taken an unexpected turn. As the journalist retreated, a wave of murmurs swept through the audience. Some guests exchanged approving nods, while others clapped softly, their admiration for Barron's poise evident. It wasn't just his words that had struck a chord, but the grace with which he delivered them. In a world often dominated by loud and confrontational voices, his calm and measured response felt refreshing. Melania turned to her son, her expression a mixture of pride and gratitude. She didn't need to say anything. The bond between them was evident in her smile. Barron, ever humble, simply gave a small nod before stepping back to his place beside her. By the next morning, clips of the exchange had gone viral. Social media buzzed with praise for Barron's calm and collected response. "Class and composure beyond his years," one tweet read. "A true testament to the strength of family," another said. It wasn't long before major news outlets picked up the story, framing it as a rare moment of grace in an often divisive public arena. For many, the incident was a reminder of the power of standing up for one's loved ones. In an era where public figures are constantly scrutinized, Barron's response was a breath of fresh air. It wasn't just what he said, but how he said it, with respect, thoughtfulness, and an unshakable loyalty to his mother. The Kennedy Center returned to its usual rhythm in the days that followed, but the moment lingered in the minds of those who had witnessed it. Barron Trump's words had sparked conversations about civility, family, and the courage it takes to rise above the fray. In a world hungry for authenticity, his actions that night served as a poignant reminder that sometimes, the youngest voices have the most to teach us. In the weeks that followed, the moment became more than just a viral clip. Commentators across media platforms dissected Barron's words, praising his ability to articulate a message of respect and civility in such a high-pressure situation. His response became a symbol of hope for those yearning for a return to decency in public discourse. Even as the buzz faded, the memory of that evening remained vivid for those who had been present. The Kennedy Center, a venue synonymous with art and culture, had witnessed a moment of unanticipated humanity that transcended its grand architecture and storied history. And for Melania Trump, the evening was a testament to the strength of her bond with her son, a bond forged in the spotlight but grounded in unwavering loyalty and love. Barron Trump, once a figure of quiet anonymity, had stepped into the limelight not as a child of privilege, but as a young man with a voice of his own. And in doing so, he reminded everyone watching that grace, courage, and respect are qualities that can shine through even in the most unexpected moments.